Hey guys, and welcome back to another one. And this one is different because this laptop is not another one. This is on a special category. This is the ASUS ROG Zephyrus Duo 16 version 2022. And in terms of technology, is just a beauty. For those of you that are passionate about technology like I am, then this is just... If you are looking for Windows 10 or Windows 11 keys at a budget, official OEM keys to activate your Windows setup, then don't forget to check out cdkeysales.com, where we'll find budget and official keys at a budget, and we'll leave the link down below. Also a coupon code where you can get 30% discount. It's a platform that we have been using for several months. Easy to purchase, easy to activate. Now, the Zephyrus 16, it's in a category different from everything else that we have seen, especially because the design and the performance just out of this world. It's not the space edition that we have seen, but it is out of this world. Let's talk about specifications first of all really quickly. It has the AMD CPU Ryzen 9 6900HX. So in terms of CPU, really high performance. GPU NVIDIA RTX 3080 Ti. So this is a killer combination that we have right over here, along with 32 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM. And this is one of the configurations, but you can select another configuration up to 64 gigs, or you can get this configuration and upgrade later because it's really easy to upgrade. The same with the SSD. This version comes with 1 terabyte SSD NVMe PCI 4.0, but we can get up to 4 terabytes, or we can upgrade ourselves with the advantage that we have 2 slots. So we can put 2 SSDs right over here, which is awesome. So this is the base of this computer. Now, if we look at the displays, let's start with the big one. It's 16 inches Quad HD, resolution 2560 by 600, certification VESA display HDR 1000 with 10-bit color reproduction, Dolby Vision, and 165 Hertz, which means that it's really well balanced. We have seen laptops here with IPS and with really high refresh rates. We also have seen QLED displays with lower refresh rates, but here we have a mini LED display which will deliver 165 Hertz. So in terms of gaming, in terms of quality, color reproduction, I do believe that the balance is really good. So we do not have the QLED, but we also don't have just the IPS with high refresh rates. We are in the middle. One thing that I do notice is that blacks are blacks and grays are grays and whites are whites, so the color reproduction is really awesome. But there is a second display right over here, which is the thing that impressed me more when I did open it up for the first time. And this display is a serious display. It's not just a gimmick for those that are wondering, okay, this is just to display this and that. No, it is a secondary display. It has a 4K resolution with 3840 by 1100. It's called ScreenPad Plus 14 inches. It is an IPS with support for pen stylus or touch with our fingers. 60 Hertz refresh rate. And basically what this means is that I can use this display as I was using any other display, on the right side, on the left side, on the top. In this particular case, it's integrated on the laptop, which is the beauty of it. Besides the normal stuff, we have apps right over here and options dedicated for the display designed by ASUS. We can put shortcuts for some keys, we can adjust brightness, we have some apps, we can use it as a keyboard, a secondary keyboard, and definitions and whatnot. Most of the examples that I'm giving probably is meant for gaming, but let's imagine that you are in a work environment, and if you are using, for example, Excel open in one side and probably PowerPoint in the other one, and you are completing your Word right over here. So we have a lot of flexibility. One of the advantages of having this secondary screen that lifts up is the cooling. It has great components, a great performance, and a awesome cooling efficiency. And I do believe that the opening that it has right over here will help that, and it will help other situation, which is the audio. It has 6 speakers, really nice audio with Dolby Atmos and high resolution audio, and it also has 3 microphones. And I honestly believe that this will help the audio pass through, which is different from the audio that we are used on other displays. Now, one thing that is also different from other laptops is the keyboard arrangement and the trackpad. The keyboard is a normal layout, normal size. The spacing is the same, so really great job. The space was well designed, and the trackpad is on the right side instead of being here on the middle, which I honestly like, and it's easier to type and use it. So I would be happy if I could see this design on other displays, but I do understand why we have the regular laptops design that we have. Now, the trackpad right over here, it also acts as a numpad if we want. We can activate and use it as a numpad, so for calculations and things like that, we will be more than happy to have this option right over here. It's not the first time that we have seen it on the Space Edition as well. And the keyboard has the backlit keys, our sync with all the possibilities that we can do with the Armoury Crate, which is a software that we already know. So select from a lot of presets and customize the way that we want. In terms of connectivity, it is also well packed. On the left side, we have the energy input, also a USB Type A 3.2 Generation 2, USB Type C 3.2 Generation 2 with DisplayPort 1.4a and energy input. It has also a micro SD card, audio 3.5. On the right side, we have a USB Type C 3.2 Generation 2, DisplayPort 1.4a, which will give us 4K 144 Hz or 8K at 60 Hz. So we have 2 outputs that will able to connect to 2 different displays up to 8K or 4K 144 Hz. But that's not all. At the back, we also have 3 connections right over here. One is RJ45 gigabit Ethernet connection, an HDMI 2.1 up to 4K at 120 Hz or 8K 60 Hz, and a USB Type A 3.2 Generation 2. In terms of performance, I did a few tests so that I could share with you, but honestly, being a bit selfish, I was really curious to see what we could achieve with this machine right over here. In terms of Wi-Fi, it has Wi-Fi 6E, so we are talking about 400 megabits per second on download and 100 on upload, even on further distances. Disk speed, we were getting 6,600 megabytes per second reads and 4,300 on writes. And on Geekbench, which was the first benchmark that I did for the CPU performance, we were getting roughly 1,573 on single core and 10,000 on multi-core. Now, comparing to 2 machines that usually I use as my baseline, which is my Mac Studio and also the ASUS Space Edition, it was getting lower results. But we know how Geekbench works. It's not a sustainable test. It's a really short test just to give us an idea. Once we jump to Cinebench, what we get right over there, it's a bit different. We are talking about 1,420 on single core and 14,500 on multi-core score. So this just means that once we push it to the maximum, once we let the thermals work and the CPU and GPU along work, actually in this particular case more the CPU, the GPU is sleeping almost, we are getting results that are superior to the ASUS Space Edition and also the Apple Mac Studio, which is the desktop that I use. And if we compare with other machines, it will blow out of the water machines that are not only laptops but also desktops. Running to 3D Mark, we can also sustain right over there, and in this particular case the GPU with a score of 11,300, which is more than what we could get with the ASUS Space Edition and the 3080 external GPU, which was a crazy setup, really awesome. But this one right over here is capable of more than that setup. Also tested with superposition on 1080 medium and high so that we can compare with other machines. Of course, we could do other tests, 4K stress tests and so on and so forth, but this test is along the line so that we can compare with other machines and far superior from the setup that I've mentioned previously. So what this means is that we can play any game that we want. Any game that's available on the market will be able to play without any issues whatsoever on a laptop that performs more than some desktops. I did play with some games like Back 4 Blood, Battlefield 2042, no issues whatsoever playing the game, and also Forza Horizon 5. These are three of my favorite games and that I do use on machines to test out their performance. Battlefield being the more demanding game and no issues whatsoever. Actually, I was not expecting any issues. Everything is fluid, using the maximum resolution, maximum graphics, and no problem at all. Now, if you are wondering, okay, Robert, that's in terms of gaming, but what about video editing? Is it a machine that will help me? Then yes, even without doing any tests, I would say that yes, you have a powerful CPU, you have a powerful GPU, you have RAM, and you have a fast SSD. That is it. This is the magic formula for a video editing machine, that it's using software that takes capability of the hardware to the not only workflow but also the rendering times, which is important once we are on a rush to produce videos and send content either to a platform or to a client. Now, I did test it out with DaVinci Resolve, which is the tool that I use to benchmark some of the machines, and the results are just awesome. It will blast everything that is CPU bound, and it will blast everything that is GPU bound. So we will be able to edit on the fly with this machine. This is a dream machine for gamers. This is equally a dream machine for editors, especially with the second screen that we can use for shortcuts and so on and so forth. Now, lastly, in terms of weight, in terms of design, once we close it, we do not notice that this is a special laptop. It is thin, it is, I would say, not light. It weighs 2.6 kilos, so it's heavy. It has a lot of nice components which weight, but in terms of the design itself, you will go buy a normal laptop, which is really nice. But once we open it, wow. Battery wise, it has a 90 watt hour battery, so a really nice battery. But if we are playing games, I would suggest that you plug in the power, either USB Type-C or the dedicated power adapter that it brings as well. If we are doing regular stuff, then no need for that. We can take it to the university. It's a bit, hey, what kind of computer is that? Any public place that you will use this computer will make that wow factor. But focus on the battery, you will have a lot of hours watching videos and doing some productivity tasks without any issues whatsoever. That being said, hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Hope that you enjoyed knowing a little bit better about the ASUS ROG Zephyrus 16 Duo version 2022. Curious to see what comes in 2023, but this one is a awesome machine. If that was the case, don't forget that usual thumbs up right over there, which is really appreciated on this side of the screen. My name is Roberto, and as always, I'll see you guys on the next one.